God Bolito here.
The Dale Bolito.
Yes, indeed. He is here with a runner-up finish in our last YOCC, despite the fact that he claims to have very little experience with the meta, and he was still able to tank through and come into the finals just to come short of Anthony DeCoco in the finals.
Very impressive. Shows you what kind of player he is. He's able to adapt to the meta very, very fast. And I heard he was trying to get the Bring Abyss deck together. He could have got it, but he wasn't really 100% on all the moves to make. He's still trying to get back into the game, I believe. So he passed to stick with what he knows, and that was the Shaddoll deck.
Yeah, but we all know now he's a little more experienced with it. He knows a little more plays about it, and we all know when you put the deck in the hands of a Bolito and they know how to play it well, it's not going to be a very fun time for the opponent.
Yeah, that's always trouble.
And on the other feature match B, I can tell we have Hamilton's Richard Clegg on one end. I'm not familiar with who is his opponent. It was Anthony DeCoco, yes. That's right, because we are doing on the feature B, it is a King of the Hill style format on the feature match B. So the loser must leave, and the winner of that gets to stay on. So it looks like Anthony DeCoco was successful in defeating Ian Shields in round one.
And that Burning Abyss mirror where we saw those Dantes on the field.
Exactly, the 5 Dantes and 1 Virgil on the field. So let's see if Richard Clegg can become King of the Hill and knock off current champion Anthony DeCoco from Windsor, Ontario. So
we saw Brandon won the die roll. I'm not sure if he's going to choose to go first here.
Yeah, it's not quite clear. It's not quite clear cut anymore if you want to go first or second nowadays.
Yeah, it's not. Before you were worried about the Danko, so without that many traps, it's not really a guarantee that you're starting first anymore.
And not to mention with the change in rule of not being able to draw on your first turn now also shifts the meta game a lot. You cannot just play first anymore willy-nilly. You got to think about it.
He did choose to go
so
first.
He will have to go first, and this may or may not be a good thing for Brandon because Dale Bolito is running Denko dolls.
Yeah, a Denko right now could be completely devastating.
Absolutely, and Dale's going to open up just the mathematician, so he's going to open up just to build some advantage.
So he's got the math. He's got the
skill drain. So that implies that Clifforts are being played on Brandon's side.
It appears the Clifforts. It's going to be exciting.
So pay 1,000 for Brandon's side. Let's see if Dale has a response to that. And it looks like he's still thinking, and we all know Dale has to take some time to be able to think and strategize every single move he does. A very calculated player is Dale, and also his brother Lazaro. So definitely, even the obvious moves still take time to them because they want to make sure that is the optimum play to make, and make sure that is the best thing to do for the situation.
Yeah, it's always a great idea to think through all of your plays. Make sure you're making the best move you possibly can. It appears he's not going to chain anything to the skill drain. Just poke him for 15.
Also sets a card too before he attacks. Also a little strange to set a card before he attacks, but it seems so far that just had no negative repercussions in this case.
Yeah.
Oh, a Shaddoll core got hit.
Yeah, I don't think Brandon was going to drop the Malevolent Catastrophe there.
No, definitely not.
Going for the
if anything, that would be a good thing for Dale.
Yeah.
But he lost a Shaddoll core to the end phase, and looks like Brandon top decked a Summoner's Art, which enables him to get the Clifford Scout.
And things are about to pick up.
Yes, business is indeed about to pick up. That Scout, drop him 100, drop him 800, but that's okay. He's going to get a big stick, and which is probably going to be either Sacrifice or a Clifford Carrier, but we're going to see.
Yeah, for a +1, paying 800 is not a big deal, especially when you get to search what you want.
Yeah, being able to access whatever monster you want, or the Sacrifice, which was a deadly spell in its own right.
And he did grab the Sacrifice there.
And there's a Sacrifice, so he must already have a monster in his hand.
Dale, not a lot of back rows. Had to set the core there. I don't know if that was a preview of a bad hand or if he was trying to bait out maybe a game shot next turn. It's really tough to say. This skill drain's got to be slowing him down a bit.
Absolutely it would be, especially with a Mathematician. But at least he's going to be able to get the effect of Mathematician and be able to draw a card since it activates in the graveyard. So That's okay. But the sacrifice is equipped onto the Clifford disc, putting it to 31. So 31 over 15 is 1,600. So Dale's down to 6,400 life points. So he's going to draw for his turn. No, it just looks like that was just the draw for
That was the
just
math.
for the mathematician. I'm sorry. And now he passes it off. Once again, Dale Bolito already in a bit of a precarious situation with skill drain scout there, a looming scout.
Yeah, very powerful disc sitting there. That's effect has been negated. So even if the skill drain does go away, it's still going to stay a very, very beefy monster.
And 3,100 attack is not easy to get over, especially since that was a normal summoned Clifford disc. So Construct is going to have no way to beat it over. Another mathematician activates it, and he goes in Book of Moon. So it looks like he did that to possibly dump a Shaddoll Dragon, I'm thinking.
That usually signals a very, very poor hand. So if he's wasting a book there, it's not looking so hot. But he could be telegraphing something worse if maybe that skill drain is cutting him off.
Yeah. Oh, he could also ascend a Hedgehog. Oh, he's going to get Squamata, so that's just a deck thin out. But he may do it so that way he can at least maybe draw out for a Beast or get a Hedgehog so he can get what he wants. So that way he can take out that skill drain with the Shaddoll Dragon.
A lot of ways to go here.
It is. You got to wonder, does he have a fusion card in his hand?
And he's going to get that draw from the math.
So he's going to go straight to Dragon, which may signify that, maybe I don't. He might not have a fusion card board. He maybe just want to destroy it now and then play a Shaddoll fusion.
But even the skill drain, if he does pop the skill drain, that Scout searching again next turn is just so devastating.
Absolutely. Scout being able to get Sacrifice and Sacrifice being able to get Scout, they go together hand in hand. So Dragon pops the Scout.
So he's trying to stop the bleeding here. Just prevent the searching every turn.
It's true, but Dale's got to hope that Brandon is unable to tribute off that disc.
Yeah.
And I think he just passed right there because it looks like Brandon's making a move with his hand motions there. So it looks like it is his turn now. Oh no, that's not a good sign at all. Regeki takes out Mathematician. So he's also got to get a draw either. And 34 now on the Clifford disc.
A very, 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 very big disc coming down.
Oh, and a Vanity's emptiness. Because we know, because Brandon was able to know that Dale did indeed play Gores.
Yep.
So that's a very big lockdown right now, and Dale's in trouble.
Past knowledge that Brandon's putting into this game, hopefully to help him win this one. The emptiness locking down with a skill drain and a very, very big disc is pretty much trouble for him.
And that's good homework on Brandon's part to know that Dale plays Gores. So playing that Vanity's Emptiness now is absolutely good. Is not a bad idea whatsoever. And Dale just can't do anything.
Wow! There's the art right off the top of the deck.
And as Summoner's Art comes down, and he's gonna get a Clifford Scout, and he's gonna make another search, paying 800, and with no spell or trap cards in sight for Dale. Brandon's just able to freely do all of this, and
he's got to know that monster's obviously negated the effect. So summoning any monster here pretty much lets the disc attack for the 3,000 that he needs to finish this game.
Yeah, if he gets another monster that's able to just hammer down that set card, then it's definitely going to be all over. And it's a shell.
That's a big boy.
That's 2,800 coming down. That skill drain and that Vanity is definitely going to lock it down. And especially even if he loses the disc, he gets two searches from the sacrifices. So Brandon is in an outstanding position, and Dale is just helplessly has to look on and just think, man, I gotta watch this knock me down. He's attacking with a disc, which is strange because if disc is able to hammer home directly, it's game.
Dale scoops it up
anyways. Though.
Yeah, it must have been a very, very poor hand for Dale there. It's tough to waste cards that you don't really want to waste, like that book on that mathematician just to dump the dragon to pop the scout. Which
Yes, he just tried to, as you said, try to stop the bleeding and couldn't do it. Now, back here in our feature match B, Anthony DeCoco, the current king of the hill right now, up against challenger Richard Clegg.
he's playing Satellars.
Yes, Richard Clegg has been playing Satellars since the very start of the dawn of Duelist Alliance.
Oh wow!
So and he's been sticking with it ever since. Richard Clegg is known for his outside of the box ideas, which may or may not work for him right now. But he did. But his most recent accomplishment was being able to top 4 in OTS, the last OTS that occurred in Skyfox Games, and it looks like he's going to go up with an Oasis
Yeah.
to bring back the Deneb. No, you call I.
Changing it. So he's going with the.
Clegg. Hey, does not that be in defense mode, Cleggy? There we go. And the Equali must be in defense mode when it's special summoned by Oasis.
Seems we have some discrepancy about maybe the target.
Yes,
We
because
did see him bring out the Deneb and then put it back to grab the Ukulele.
yeah,
So,
but realizing that I can't, but realizing that that monster has to be in defense mode might have wanted him to change his mind, and there could be a problem. Maybe thinking maybe I'm Clegg, maybe I want to get Deneb instead. If he and is he going to allow that? That's the thing now, because Richard Clegg already committed to that play.
yeah, I did. I believe that I would. If I was Anthony, I would probably argue that you did bring out the Deneb.
The Ukulele there, but because he definitely would rather not have that Deneb out there. As Seer is the highest attacking monster on the Burning Abyss side.
I think what happened was he used the Deneb already that turn. So he brought back the Deneb again and then realized that he wasn't getting the effect. So
that also is a possible thought. As we are joining this game midway, so we don't know what exactly happened before that.
yeah, he does have the Altair there in the Deep Prison and the Regeki, so it's got some plays here.
He has plays. He can go to a rank 3. He can go to Trivia here too. So there's the Altair to some Ukulele, and the Ukulele is going to dump a monster here. Probably, I'm going to assume an Alsham if he does run an Alsham here. Or even another. Or he just wants to dump another Deneb.
Yeah, he could be bouncing that Oasis back, so having that Deneb there in that grave ready for the Oasis.
That is true if he decides not to pluck with Trivia, because as we all know, Burning Abyss has several effects that go off once they're in the graveyard, so he may opt not to discard.
With the Trevor, that is exactly. Oh, we're coming back to the Dale versus Brandon after Brandon won game 1. Heroes.
All right, we are back here, and Dale's going to open up with a T-set.
Yeah. The Cleafort guy, of course, forcing Dale to play first here against the Shaddoll deck. It's always a good idea to play second. The Shaddoll deck having a 6 card is just so devastating.
But Dale opted to go first because he lost game 1. So.
Oh yeah, he chose to go first. You're right.
So and a Typhoon. Against
Cleaforts, I agree with going first.
Absolutely, because you want to be able to stop that scout if possible. But Brandon also having a Typhoon of his own, taking out Dale's Typhoon.
And he did have that Typhoon.
Yeah, he did have a Typhoon, so he can freely now play scout.
It's interesting that he used the Summoner's Art first, then Typhoon, because he could have had the Mind Crush there, and that would have just, played into that -1.
Yeah, just in case, just as a contingency.
Yeah, it's always better to play around the outs.
But nonetheless, he was able to continue on unfettered, and there is a pendulum summon of the Clifford character with a Performance Trample Links, which is a big combo right now because it enables him to put the scout back in his hand, play it again, and make another search.
Yeah, it's definitely a good choice. Been seeing less of the Trample Links lately with the addition of Monolith from the new set.
Indeed, because being able to draw an extra card is always nice.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Monolith or the Stealth come down.
We have not. Yeah, that's true. The two new and the Cephalopod, the 2 new cards. Oh no, and he does have a sacrifice, and there's his normal summon for the turn right there.
Distributing for the disc.
So it looks like the carrier. So he's got to form a chain. The disc is 3, the carrier is 2, and the sacrifice is 1. So he's going to make a double summon with disc. The carrier is going to bounce Dale's set monster to his hand, and the sacrifice will make a search. So already Dale in a very crippling position as he's going to get hit with 28, 18, and 18.
Yeah, he's pretty far behind already.
Yep, totaling 64, and Dale's already going to be down to 16, and that already is a dangerous level to be at against Cleforts.
Yeah, Brandon having that Typhoon really to MST his own to MST Dale's MST really paid off big time, because now he's got the scout and the tramplings play, and he's just so far behind right now.
And once again, Dale has to just helplessly watch as his opponent is just gaining advantage over him, and Dale's got to wonder, man, what am I going to do to get out of this, because this is a really difficult situation to be in.
Yeah, he's got his pendulums all set. He's searching.
It looks like a monolith and a helix.
Does get the monolith. That's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting call indeed, as that's one less search target with the summoner's art. But let's see where this takes him. So you got to wonder now, what can Dale do? So, of course, that monster goes back. And that also hurts Shaddoll's a whole lot, because that's one less turn for them to be able to trigger their flip effects. So
did he grab another scout from that sacrifice?
I did not see exactly what he got from there.
I barely saw it. I think it was another scout. So he's prepared for whatever Dale can try to muster here.
Yeah,
it's scout is devastating card.
It's almost as if he has to let those scout searches go through because he got another scout. And he knows it. So it's like, oh man, I can't exhaust my resources on that scout, and I got to let him search and search unless Dale has a way to be able to take out both scouts. But right now, that might be the least of his worries, because he's staring down quite a grand field. Of course, those two monsters are going to go away for the disc, but still, a disc and being able to pendulum summon and search with another scout in the hand is not an easy situation for any player, regardless.
And that's a normal summon disc.
Yes. Oh,
There's
no.
the emptiness, too. Jeez.
So Dale, oh, no.
And the skill drain. So
the floodgate cards are on Brandon's side. Dale's just having absolute problems.
Yeah, I think he flips that skill drain there to avoid the Night Beam, because if he's got the Typhoon, he can Typhoon it anyways. So the face down card, which was the skill drain. So I think activating that prevents the Night Beam from coming down and killing the Vanity's Emptiness anyways. So put him on one less out. It
is a good play to do on the safe side, as Dale clearly does not have another Typhoon in his hand as Dale chose not to chain to Vanities and just threw his Shaddoll Fusion to the graveyard, very, very unhappy doing so. And then, as you said, there was a good read of the Night Beam in case to play skill drain, and Dale has to scoop it up right there, unable to gain any momentum, and Brandon is able to quickly take a quick 2-0 victory versus Dale Bolito, knocking him already to 1-1.
Whew, the Clefort deck, though.
So now we're back to feature match B, where Richard Clegg and Anthony DeCoco. It looks like that's a diamond there on Richard Clegg's field. So Richard already hurting, putting Anthony to hurt, and he looks like he just attacked.
I think he used the good and evil. I saw him banish that there, and then he discarded the Farfa. So
that is the good and evil in there in the banish pile.
We'll see what happens here. We see him targeting the diamond with the Farfa.
And he's going to detach and negate, because he obviously does not want him to have any more plays with that. But it looks like that diamond is out of materials now and can no longer negate. So he might be able to freely make some moves now. So there's a tour guide coming out on Anthony's part, and Richard's going to let that go.
So he's got the graph.
A very standard play indeed for Anthony to special summon the graph in defense mode.
The 27 of the diamond is kind of a big deal.
Absolutely, being over the 2,500 mark, so it's able to defeat any Virgils and Dantes in battle, which is basically the big attack that they have to go to.
Yeah, the benchmark is 25. If you got 2501, you're looking pretty good.
You're in great shape indeed, and there's only one card in that deck that they have that's even higher than that, and that's an Asagolem. But that's a very big thing to bring out, but there's also very many drawbacks, too, if you choose to go to Asagolem.
I have been seeing people play that other card that came with Tempo, the double attacker. It boosts its attack to 3,000.
Oh, yes, I believe it's called the Muse Rhythm.
Yes, one of the string...
Yes, that's able to make any decision double its attack.
Yes,
yeah.
I have been seeing a few people play that, so they use that to boost over the Dark Law as well as the Diamond. So
It is a card. It is indeed a card that's able to muster through, but we all know the extra deck in Burning Abyss is very tight, so it's. I wonder if people are able to make room for it, and people even remembering about that card, for that matter. So Anthony is right now trying to figure out what he's going to bring out here. And it looks like he's special summoning Graph with that milled seer from the Dante's effect.
okay, I've just gotten word this is game 1, so we're still in game 1 here. So no side deck, nothing. So we're in for a treat. We get at least game 2 of the feature match as well.
Yeah, we can get a full viewing of the entire match of it. Yeah, and Diamond, of course, is no easy picnic for Burning Abyss for any opposing players running Dark Monsters. However, there are no more materials on that Diamond, so Anthony is able to freely do whatever, barring the back row that's planted on Richard's side.
Yeah, we're just tuning in halfway, so Anthony could know that that's an Oasis that he bounced with Trevor or something. It could be something that Anthony knows. We're not really sure at the time.
Well, it looks like it could be the Oasis because we do see a Trivia in the graveyard, so
Yep.
it is assumed that the Oasis did go back to the hand. So that very well could be an Oasis set there, and that could be what Anthony knows is why he's able to make all these moves so freely.
Yeah, so he could be trying to play around it right now.
So there's a Libic coming down on that special summon from the Graph. Oh, sorry, the Cagna. I'm sorry.
That is a Cagna, yeah.
He's going to activate the effect of Rubik. And he's going to go to Virgil.
We're going to see a Virgil come down.
The rock star.
He seems to be using Cagna's effect.
And it looks like he was going to use Cagna's effect to dump a spell trap card.
Yeah, I believe he only plays the one good and evil, so maybe we'll see a Fire Lake get sent.
Just to thin out the deck and
Yeah.
make it also an available target for Dante when it hits
Yeah,
the graveyard.
he could. He appears to have no target, no Fire Lake in there. So would have been a decent play to crash the Dante if he can't get over that Diamond and get back the Fire Lake, and then Virgil the Diamond away, or the face down, which I'm assuming it would have been the Diamond, and then he could be set up with the Fire Lake with the Graph and the Virgil.
But we all know that. But we are going to assume that there's already a Fire Lake in there. But
Yeah,
he's able to at
that
least
is
put that Diamond away with Virgil's effect. So and it's a light monster, so it can't be bound by the effect of a Diamond, even though it doesn't have any materials.
And that was a Skarmy pitch too, so he's going to get the search in the end phase as well.
A very productive turn it might seem for Anthony DeCoco,
Which looked a little helpless there. It was the power of.
It did. It's a dimensional prison.
Prison, yeah. It is the Farfa there that really allowed him to do that stuff, because it forced the Diamond to negate that.
And we already saw what kind of explosive impact that Farfa had on the very last turn of YLCC that we had.
It appears Anthony has no hand. I think he's going to get the search here for the Skarm. He's looking at a Seer.
Seer looks, because he does have a Graph in the field, so he can.
And I believe Richard's top decking as well. He's got the one.
Yeah,
trap.
and he just sets that one and ends.
So
He's
got the Seer for the Virgil, so that card's likely to be spun away.
You gotta wonder if it's a chainable card, but it can't be a Call of the Hunter or Oasis, or he'd be playing it right now.
Absolutely, he misses that timing now.
Yeah, he won't be able to get the search if he chains the Call of the Haunted onto a Deneb or something, or any Satella will not get their effect if it's chained to the Virgil.
Yeah,
so.
I think if it was a Call or a Oasis, he would have been using it by now to get out. Maybe an Altair to.
But it's a
make
Fiendish
multiple
chain.
Plays. Yeah,
so he's able to stay alive.
He's got the sear coming down anyways.
Yeah, so he will be able to So he will be able to drop another Burning Abyss monster. And the question is, does Anthony have another Burning Abyss monster in his hand that isn't Graph or Seer?
Yep.
If that's the case, then he can go double Dante and go for game as Richard's a 45.
Yeah, we're joining halfway through the game, but it looks like most of his Dantes might be already exhausted. He's looking through his extra deck there, and I see a few in the grave. There's one banished as well, so not really seeing the Dante in his extra deck, but it could be there.
Yeah, that could bode problems later on if you can't use Dante's in Burning Abyss. So that definitely is going to be problematic. So
yeah, he is going to grab the Dante from his grave from the seer. It reveals.
Reveals a Libic, and he's going to go another Dante. So,
yeah, so that as long as he has a monster for Graph, it looks like that's going to 3 upstart.
Wow, 3 upstart goblins, 3 of a kind.
All signed by Patrick Hoban right there.
So he's got 35 on the board, and all he has to do is put an extra 1,000, and that'll be game. And does
searching. He can't search.
Oh, can't search Graph.
Whoa, can't search a Graph.
Yo, can't search a Graph. Hey, yo, Anthony. Okay, there we go. Now we fixed it up because he can't do Graph on it.
As long as he had another monster, it was good. So.
He just couldn't do Graph. Graph can't search Graph, and that is game number 1.
Yeah, wow. We were able to come in there at the end and catch the end of that game.
Yes.
That was a bunch of very nice plays by Anthony with the Farfa to play around that diamond right there.
Exactly. The diamond is the big card that is able to mitigate the power that Burning Abyss can bring out, but Anthony is still able to trek on and exhaust all of its resources so he can freely go on and just take down Richard Clegg.
Yeah.
That Virgil putting in work.
Yeah, we are seeing a Soul Drain, I think a Forbidden Chalice I see there. And coming in against for Richard. Oh, we have his extra deck.
Yeah, we do have the deck list here. So Richard absolutely is going to put in that Soul Drain against.
Yeah, and he is bringing in the Mischief of the Yokai.
Mischief of the Yokai, yes, indeed, which is a continuous drop card, which will manipulate the levels of those Burning Abyss cards.
With the new card that came out, Mischief of the Genomes, I believe.
Yeah,
it's
there's
called.
a Mischief of the Gnomes. Yeah, there's another Mischief card as well. Yeah, the Mischief of the Gnomes, but he's opting to play the Gnomes, the Yokai over the Gnomes because he wants. So it's a very, very different pick there. But he probably wants to be able to use it a second time, or maybe he just doesn't have any Gnomes or something. But a Yokai nonetheless.
Let's see what Anthony could be bringing in.
No, there is no Vanguard event here. It's just strictly Yu-Gi-Oh here today. Oh, not well. Oh, it's actually it's in the back.
It's upstairs or something.
Yeah, it's in the front.
I think it's in a different room.
Yeah, because we have a different room. I'm sorry. My apologies. I did not really scout that area.
Anthony does have Max C's in his side deck, which could come in against the Altair combos.
Absolutely, because
it's good to draw and cut them off where they're at. Also got the Fairy Winds, which not a lot of people bring in against the Satellar Knight deck, but given that they're bringing in the Soul Drains and the maybe Shadow Mirrors and stuff, like it's good to cut them off there. Same with the Oasis and the Call. It's not a terrible side deck choice against Satellars.
You just have to be very careful if you do side in Fairy Wind against Satellars, because if that Fairy Wind remains dead in the back row, your Burning Abyss gets slowed down significantly. So if you are going to do it, you have to smartly play that card and know when to set it. You can't just set that card willy-nilly and then shut off all your special summon power.
Yep. It's when you're in a pickle.
Yeah,
and they
indeed.
got that Soul Drain. Sometimes it sits there for a while. Soul Drain's definitely a problem for Burning Abyss.
So Fairy Wind could come into play, but it is a bit of a questionable play because it's a situational card that if it doesn't happen, you're not going to be able to special summon as many monsters. I think of it. I know they have cranberry juice too. But yeah, whatever. Or like pop because they have like different.
Sure.
So here we are. We are getting ready for game 2 between Anthony DeCoco, our returning champion from Windsor, Ontario, representing us.
Yeah, he plays local with me. Plays
Yes.
Every week.
CG Realms, I believe.
Yeah, CG Realms, yeah.
Realms and
Shout out there for Windsor. A lot of guys here from that local.
it's nice to see a lot of Windsor people from. And
Yeah.
you're from Bell River, Ontario,
Bell River.
a bordering city of Windsor, Ontario.
Absolutely. I think I might be the only Yu-Gi-Oh player in Bell River.
Oh, well, at least you have a meta to play in.
Yep. And we do have Aaron Ekblad though.
Oh, it's true, you do. So Richard Clegg's going to open up with an Ukulai, dumping Deneb and setting 3 back row. A rather traditional play made there for...
I believe that it was an Oasis. He flashed us there a bit.
Yeah, I couldn't tell, unfortunately, on my end, but I see Fairy Wind was siding against... DeCoco is siding in Fairy Wind. I see a Soul Charge, I believe, in the middle there, too.
Yeah, I think I see a Typhoon and a Good and Evil of the Burning Abyss.
So that's not a good card. You want to draw the Good and Evil. No.
You definitely do not want to draw that.
You need a Wing Boss or a Virgil to get that out. So
there's the Oasis.
there's the Oasis. So Rubik is chained, is activated, and looks like Richard's chaining Oasis right off the bat.
Yeah, he does have the Typhoon.
Does have Typhoon to take it out. So there goes an Oasis. However,
see here if he was baiting him out with that Typhoon.
that could indeed, because Richard could have a Floodgate card down there somewhere.
Oh, he does not.
So he normals the Skarn.
Here comes the Good and Evil. So there you go. He was
The
able
Virgil.
to use it.
So he's able to use it already. Virgil. And the
right
Seer
into
will
the Virgil.
special. Seer was normal summon, so he's able to activate the effect and gets the Rubik, and he activates the Good and Evil. So he's gonna make the best use of that Good and Evil in his hand, turning a bad draw into a good draw, and the Ukulai goes back in.
Have to wonder if maybe he should have shuffled that Deneb from the graveyard back into the deck, because Virgil does hit monsters in the grave as well.
So now and he's gonna Soul Charge.
He's going right into it.
He doesn't want to
He's
attack.
gonna maybe get the Dante and then detach the Skarm or the Rubik there and keep the Dante with a Seer underneath, which is never a bad play.
Never at all. So definitely a very good play. And as we all know, a lot of players will always choose control over damage unless it's going for game.
Yeah. So we will be seeing an overlay here, and
He's going to go to Dante in defense mode. And we all know control is almost always the better choice than going for damage. And Anthony, absolutely, the wily veteran, is going to do that. And there goes an Alec, a Typhoon, and a Mass Change too.
so he's also sporting the Mass Change too.
He is, and that could be very valuable information on the end there for Richard Clegg to know that he's running the Mass Change.
Got the deck list here. Anthony, I believe, is playing 2. Yeah, he is playing 2 Mass Change too.
Oh, wow.
So he's going hard with that Dark Law there to bring that out. It's definitely not a terrible choice against the Satellers, who are always searching.
So on the end phase there, Clegg was able to play the Typhoon to take out Anthony's Fairy Wind. So Clegg knows that now he can still freely be able to use his continuous trap cards. But you got to wonder what that middle card is there that he has set.
Yeah, it's been there.
We all know Richard Clegg is a little bit unpredictable, as he's a very unorthodox player, thinking outside the box, and you really have to step up your game if you want to beat Richard Clegg. He's a very crafty, wily veteran as well.
Seems to be searching through his extra deck here, so he's looking for something.
Yeah, he could have a Vega or an Altair play to use.
And there's the Altair, as we see.
And
so he does have that.
But I don't think he has a Vega.
He does have something. I think it's the Foolish Burial, the Ukulai in his hand. It's tough to make out that other card.
Yeah, I
there.
cannot make out that other monster. We just know it's a monster. So he will get the Altair for the Deneb.
And he will get that search, so I'm assuming he's going to grab maybe another Altair.
Yeah, that's just a very common play.
Always good to keep looping them. Free monsters every turn.
Absolutely. No one's going to want that. No one's going to want to reject that.
Although he does have to watch out for the Virgil here. Now that Anthony sees he's got the Altair, he could be spinning that Deneb back if he can't get rid of the Virgil and keep the Deneb in the grave.
Now Richard has to decide what is he going to do, because he has to get that Virgil's going to cause problems. So he has to get rid of that Virgil somehow. he does have ways to do it. He has a Castell, but of course that's going to leave him vulnerable for the next turn,
Yes.
borrowing his back row card.
Yeah, sending that Virgil away for good is probably the best choice here because he does have that Seer underneath that Dante, so he can choose to mill and bring back that Virgil and cause him problems again if he can't successfully banish that
And we know
Virgil or get him somewhere out of there.
And we know that he has a Rubik in the graveyard, so he just has to Seer. We can bring it back and do it all over again.
Absolutely.
Which could be a thought process running through Richard Clegg's mind right now.
Appears to be going into the Castell and realizes that, the Dante is going to just... Oh, wait. Yeah, the Dante is just going to kill it. So, he's spinning the Dante.
Dante is a strange one. So Seer's going to come out.
Interesting.
You can go for Rubik, or you can go for the Libic. Oh, sorry, no, the Seer, the Libic. No, it's like the Alec, I'm sorry. That's the one that will negate effects of one monster until the end phase when it's sent to the graveyard. Looks like Anthony is top decking himself. Yeah, it looks like it's so.
That Alec.
And there's a dimensional
There's the
prison. So he had a plan all along and hoped, and luck was on his Richard's side that he didn't draw a Burning Abyss monster.
Yeah, absolutely. A Burning Abyss monster drawn there probably could have made made it very tough for Richard to come back.
Definitely would be some nasty plays.
But he does have the Vega. Wow.
Vega into Altair, which will bring in Deneb, and here comes that loop again. So it looks like Richard Clegg is now starting to turn the tables.
He's getting that search again, and there's the Altair again. Every turn, dropping that
And
Altair.
he can go into a trivia at this point in time, bounce everything, and.
But I don't think he wants to give him that Alec back to his hand because he does have the good and evil in the grave.
That is true.
So that could set him up for stuff.
But at the same time, he also has no problem discarding it, as Alec really being discarded at that point really doesn't matter that much.
Absolutely.
Because he can go right to Diamond right afterwards. But he also can go to Deltaros and hopefully bomb that back row card and hope that card will not actually cause a problem.
Yeah.
But he's going to go march in and just attack with Alec.
Looking over Anthony's deck really quick, doesn't play very many defensive traps. He's just got one Fire Lake, and that's all his traps.
Yeah, so it's very possible there that...
also got the enemy controllers, but it could be a side deck card that he brought in there.
So yeah, very possible it could be a side deck card considering the nature of how many you don't really set bluffs against. So he does go to the Deltros, and he's going to pop that card. And it's just a Fairy Wind again, a dead Fairy Wind. Yep. And now he's going to go to Diamond in the main phase 2 probably. And again, this is a very, very rough situation for Anthony DeCoco.
I think he's scooping this one up.
It looks like it. He is, because he's putting his cards back and he's just scooping it up. And that is a very difficult situation to get out of. If you're top decking against against the Tellar Knights, and there's a Diamond out.
Yep.
Indeed, and he is scooping it up right there. So
he's shuffling, and that's the handshake.
And because time was called, that is a draw, unfortunately, for both players. So we have a draw. So you got to wonder what's going to happen with the King of the Hill now.
Who's going to continue?
Who gets the boot and who gets to stay in King of the Hill? Because we have a draw, ladies and gentlemen, as time was called. So Richard Clegg able to storm back with his Constellar Diamond and his huge play of just exhausting Anthony's resources very quickly.
Yeah, with time being called there, Anthony may have seen how much time was left in the round, and maybe decided earlier to scoop that game, realizing that he couldn't really come back from the Altair next turn and a Diamond, and maybe start game 3 and try to, take the advantage. But I guess he's okay with the draw here.
Yeah, such is not the case.